Okay. So I wanted to make this short video. I'm going to try to make it as short as possible. Everybody who has seen my videos, they know that short is not for me and I'm long-winded. So I'm going to try for the people with the short attention span. I'm fresh out the shower. As you can see, my curls are trying to pull themselves together. But every time I get in the shower, I get like downloads out of nowhere. Like I'm just like, oh, and then I start self-reflecting. So uh, I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna try to jump around and touch all the topics that I touched when I was basically talking to myself, because it was a lot. But okay, so I'm in the shower and I was thinking about it. I've been thinking about it for a while because I'm just like, with my physical conditions, like I do what I can when I can. And, it's basically like I'm on the wave of like people are lucky if they get a video. And I post my videos because I'm an introvert, number one. And two, so I don't get out like that. And when I do, it's like I'm, communing with nature type deal. So I'm not really like socializing like that a lot. Um, And a lot in my whole entire life, everybody thought that was crazy. Like they were like, that's so weird. You're so weird because there's more, like there's like what 90-something% extroverts, and the rest of us are like just basically they want to outcast us type deal. So I've accomplished plenty of things, even with like my disabilities and everything. But I've always been like a really strong person. I've never been the person that like it needed to ask for help like that. But then when I got to a point, in my life where I needed to ask for help, I asked for help and didn't get help, from the people that are supposed to be closest to me. So I basically got to the point where, because it's already an issue for me, like it's like to ask for help is like, what the hell? Okay. It's like, no way. So if I take all the strength in me to be sitting there asking somebody for help and then they don't help me, I'm like, after a while, it's torturous. After a while, it's like taking pieces from you, and you're just like, they're attempting to break you down, and you get to a point where you're like, the switch turns off, and you're like, F this. So I've way been there, okay? Um, but then, there's the internet. We're young. We're like, okay, we're gonna take advantage of every scenario that we can, and we do what we can do. Um, but then through that time, because it's been like quite a while, um, you know, I built businesses and still no support, using the internet just kind of like to reach out to people and just share myself with them, so that people that are like, and especially young kids that are kind of really like going through it emotionally, like I'm seeing all these weird toxic ass like people. Now don't get me wrong, people could look at me and say I'm toxic because I'm in fuck it mode, and I'm just like, these are the facts, and you just gonna have to you're just gonna have to choke them down, okay, because this is the reality. I'm talking about toxic like Andrew Tate toxic, okay? Nasty, trying to teach them to be drugging women and raping them type of toxic, okay? That type of toxic. Not trying to like have them grow into being an adult, things like that. And then I see all these people around me, and like on YouTube, and if you go into the trending topics, you see like just immaturity. Like we're talking about these people. I'm looking at these people and I'm like, how you, I know how you got, because they're trying to teach. A lot of them have become successful because they're like, this is how you become successful on YouTube. This is how you become successful doing whatever. And I'm looking at it like, okay, cuz I'm always one to learn, right? But as I'm watching it, I'm like, this is bullshit. Okay, it's the same bullshit that these business people who started businesses, which were usually white males, trying to tell minorities that scrape their pennies together to come watch them, educate them. And they're like, oh, your first clients are your family and your friends. And then there's me. Bullshit. That's bullshit. You're talking to white people. You're not talking to brown people, because many brown people do not, that their supports is that no. That's a hard no. We just wasted our money listening to yo ass. So, I'm seeing that, and then I start looking deeper, because then I'm like, these people, let me look and see like their history on their YouTube. And some have been like, smart about it, where they've like deleted a lot of their older stuff, but a lot of them haven't. And the majority of them that haven't, you can clearly see that they only became famous YouTubers because all they were doing was doing weird childish ass shit that like little kids would find hilarious, that they could be impressionable with, and they could basically like have a cult following of children following them, watching them do weird ass kid shit when they're grown ass adults. Okay, and we're not talking about, oh, you got fish tanks and you're a down to earth like person. We're talking about like weird shit, buying freaking Orbeez, like a zillion Orbeez, and like filling up a swimming pool and pranking your friend type deal. And I'm just like, I can't. So, and then there's people that are supplying them with the funding to do this stupid shit. So I'm thinking about that, and I'm just like, no, that's not me. I can't do it. Then you have the couples that get together and do their thing, and then they're pranking each other, acting like this is how they live, and that's not how they live. And like kids are watching this, adults are watching this, like, oh, look at this, and the other YouTubers are watching this, like, oh, look at this. This is great. Let's do this. It gets views, and I'm just like, it gets views at what cost? Because many of these pranks, like the ones that were decent, I'm like, okay, I'm supporting of it. The ones that I'm looking at where I'm like, you should not be posting this shit, that's exactly how I felt about it. And that's why I stopped watching it, because I'm like, I can't. Just like I stopped watching Andrew Tate. As soon as I heard the shit coming out of his mouth, every single time I saw his face, I was like, do not recommend this fucking channel, because I can't. And not even that I can't, I refuse. Like, I'm not even trying to mix my energy with that trash ass shit, because that is some, when I say cringe, like toxic and gross ass energy, I don't want it. I can't. I refuse. All the refusal. Anyway, long story short, I was sitting there and I'm looking at people like, in van life that are the complete opposite, or people that are in like tiny home life that are complete opposite. Super positive, super emotionally available, and things like that. And the small percentage of people in my life, because I'm at the point that I am, in my past healing from my trauma, not trying to be going over it over and over again. I'm not the type of person that, even when somebody, like the rare few people that do something nice for me, like I can get to the point, like I'm great at the emotional availability of being like, oh, I love you. I care about you, and you are like this and that, and it's very matter of factly, but like I'm not on the emotional availability scale of to be like pouring out my heart type deal. Like I reserve that for like partners, like relationship partners, and I give them all of that energy. Everybody else doesn't get none of that. There's no room for that for nobody else, because, and it's not because the rare few that are supportive in that way don't deserve to hear that. Is that it takes too much, first of all, and then on top of that, the way it's being done, like if I was just sitting here chilling, drinking with a friend, or relaxing and having dinner, and we decided that we were going to get into a emotionally open, deep conversation, and it comes out, but when I'm talking about like on the internet, because it's like you utilize the tools that you have, but I also have the life experience to see and have seen the scum of the absolute earth. Okay? When I say the scum of the absolute earth, or the absolute scum of the earth, I'm talking people that are excited, that are getting off on you being emotionally available. And when I say emotionally available, it's when you're being emotionally available, because a lot of people, when they're emotionally available, you know, I don't like to use the term victimized because that has been weaponized. I want to say like very down to earth and broken down into like, you know, I don't want to say layman's terms, but like everyday nigga terms, okay? When you talk about shit that you've been through in your life, sometimes, you know, even if you are on the positive mindset of like, listen, I've moved past that, I'm strong, like this and that, when you go back and you get the flashbacks of that and you reflect on that, a lot of people get emotional, they cry, or you can feel an energy of sorrow coming from them, from just feeling that, because they're, you know, they're emotionally available people in that way. They don't know how to turn that off yet, you know, and verbalize that, verbalize it as a fact. Like, yeah, I went through this, I had lack of support, blah 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 blah, da 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 da. Okay, and how I had to empathize with their followers who do support them and do need that emotional availability, the ones that are with positive intent for them. Because there's plenty of those people out there as well. The issue is they're getting the support because they're able to do that, while simultaneously they're mixing with that energy. They, you know, and leave it in the comments, but if you were to have successfully moved out of a traumatic situation, and you know, you have all these supporters and stuff, why do you still get depressed then? Even if you aren't where you want to be, there's a reason why your ass is still depressed. And the reason why your ass is still depressed is because you mixing up, you're being emotionally available to simultaneously your supporters, but simultaneously these succubus, incubus, trash ass energies that love to see you come out there like that with that shit. Oh, they love it. They're like, they might be beating off to it like nasty shit that you shouldn't even think about, but you should be alerted about. Hey, you should be alerted about, so that when you're talking about it in the future, and because that's what I'm thinking, I'm like, why, you know, these guys that were teaching all this YouTube stuff, they're talking, oh, you need to edit your videos, do this and that to be successful, and this and that to be successful in YouTube. Stop it. I'm making a video, I don't want to hear it. They're telling you this stuff when in reality, we have people on YouTube that, I mean, if you can post a freaking video with somebody else's content, a meme, and just stare like a dead person into the camera and have 1 million followers, or have whatever hundreds of thousands of followers, then me in my little purple room should be mighty fine. Everybody in whatever their asses are doing should be mighty fine to get followers and have people following them. So why is it taking people? Why is it taking people to? The reason they're telling you to do that, so you'll buy their editing software, so you'll sit there and spend money on a better camera instead of using what you have. If you're in a struggle situation, or you're, you know, you using what you have in general, that you're sitting out there doing the most, when there's plenty of people. I don't care. I've watched some rickety ass videos, okay? Rickety, just because I was like, ooh, let me look at this. So it's the fallacy that you need to be doing the most, okay? It's a complete fallacy. So then I look at it as, okay, well, it has to be an emotional connection. It has to be, you know, that these people are, because poverty porn is a thing. So you have people that are really into the poverty porn, and a lot of times they're watching the poverty porn and they're like, some of them are getting off to it, and then the other ones are like, they're watching it like I'm watching it, like, you know, it's nice to see somebody like pushing through, you know, getting it and doing what they can. And I watch it and I'm just like, you know, supportive to be supportive. I'm not sitting there like supportive so you can be a bleeding heart telling me that you appreciate me so much, because I don't need that. I don't need that. And though there are people that do need it, the issue is that maybe there's a lot of people that do need it and I'm just not giving it to them. The issue is that I'm not giving it to them for a very valid reason, because I'm doing them like I do these racist white people in this earth. They can sit there and say, oh, you're victimizing. You keep talking about the past and da-da-da. Why don't you just let it go? I'm like, listen, I'm not feeling no type of way about it. What I'm feeling about it is, fuck you, pay me. That's how I'm feeling about it. I'm still out here doing what I need to do and doing what I feel that I can do. But I'm not gonna sit out here and keep ignoring and acting like that wasn't what the case was, and sitting over here crying about it like you gaslighting me, trying to say I'm crying about it just because I'm speaking facts constantly about it, because I'm not gonna be quiet about it. So that's where I stopped and said, okay, like Spirit was like, that's how you solve this problem, is that people are, looking at you like you're like that, like looking at you like this bitch. They're looking at you like you're like you think you're better than them, this and that, or you don't have any emotional availability and you don't want to sit there and be expressing yourself and you're toxic and you're not healed. I'm like, honestly, I don't think about, like, when I say I shut my emotions off for anything, I get the only two emotions that I allow to be expressed in my life are extreme joy, and if I need to turn on extreme rage for self-defense, extreme rage. Okay? That's it. On a regular day, I get up, I'm like, woo, woo, let me go check my fish. Okay? Like, that's how I'm constantly, like, constantly. Even when I am in, my entire body is filled with pain and I can't get out the bed, and I'm like, oh, dang, girl, you got to get to that coffee type deal. If you don't get to that coffee, you ain't getting through today. Like, you just better make it. And then my dogs are like, girl, you got to get up. Come on now, get this coffee. I'm like, I can't stand y'all with the bullshit. And they're like, get up and get the coffee. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get the coffee. And then they'll do, if I can't get up and get the coffee, they know that because we're in the room and they have their little potty thing in here and they take a shit on the grass. They're like, she ain't getting up. Drop the shit bombs. Drop the shit bombs. I'm like, oh, fuck, I can't lay in here smelling shit. Like, it's just not for me. I was not made to be living in no damn barn. Okay, so I get up and I get my coffee. Look at my only Christmas present. My neighbor, she got me a coffee mug. I'm so grateful for her. She's so great. Nosy over here wanting all the attention. That's Hallie. So yeah, that's I felt like, and I don't even like doing videos where, like, I post, like, where I'm looking at myself. But I do find that it is a little bit easier for me to conversate when I'm looking at myself, because I feel comfortable with myself. Like, when I'm talking about my fish tank, I kind of go on little, I'm not all over the place when I'm talking about my fish. I'm just like, because I'm passionate about, my little hobbies and the things that I do to kind of, like, just pass the time and just, do me. So I'll just be like just ranting, but I really had to sit here and be like, solving a clear problem, when it comes to, like, traffic and people, subscribers and things like that, because I'm just like, there's a lot more that I would like to share of other topics that, it'll come when it comes, and, it'll happen. But for right now, I'm focusing on my animals and my fish, and occasionally I'll have, like, some, I don't know, educational topic to talk about or some spiritual topic to talk about, and then they come out. When it comes out, it comes out. Sometimes I just, like, get the same. The other day I posted some stuff and I was in the same, like, reflective mode, and I was like, ooh, let me post this because look at this shit. And that's how I post, and then that's what I mean by, like, I post the shit that I like, the shit that I'm passionate about, my animals and whatever. And if you're offended by stuff easily, it's not gonna work for you. But I do also feel that that there is value in it for people who normally would just look and be like, oh, they're too rough around the edges for me. You know what I mean? They're too rough around the edges for me. If you can get past the cussing, okay, then you'll be all right. Get past the cussing. If they're religious, if Jesus turned water into wine. That's how you gotta do. If Jesus turned water into wine, I think you'll be all right with cussing. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. It's not gonna hurt you. It's not gonna kill you. So, and then another thing I was thinking about to reaffirm that was that that toxicity is the same toxicity that, because when I was thinking about it, I started thinking about like when Facebook like was posting like snuff films, like, and I started thinking about like, I know somebody that watches snuff films and they're like super depressed, and I'm not gonna, name drop, but I try to gently tell them because you never know what anybody's doing in their private life, okay? You don't know what they're doing on their time off of work. So I try to gently explain to them, like, listen, if you want to, maybe not be depressed, it may be the reason that you're depressed is because you're watching people really killing other people. It's not like you watching a show. You know how people like are into horror and like they're into like gory movies and shows and stuff like that. When you watch gory movies and shows, if you are an adult enough to be able to tell your inner child, listen, this is just pretend, okay? Because you have to nurture your inner child. If you tell your inner child, listen, you're just watching pretend, they're over here trying to, don't let them scare you, okay? Like that. You're going to be able to watch whatever because you're looking at it like it's a made up story. Even if, I don't know, somebody might have made it off of a real, true story and they're saying that it's fiction. We don't know. They're claiming, if that's what they're claiming that's fictional, it's fictional, okay? That's how you got to do it. But if you're sitting there and you're watching literally somebody killing somebody and you're like all up in it, that toxic, nasty ass energy is bleeding into you, okay? It's leeching onto you like a freaking literal leech. So any kind of positive energy that you would have thought you might have had in your life, that you possibly could have, if you get into that mental state of, listen, I know I've been through a lot of shit, but fuck it, and that's it. I'm tough, strong, and I wish a motherfucker would type deal. You can't. You're not gonna be able to do that because you're gonna be stuck in a never-ending pit of despair. And then you're gonna you might be able to pull yourself, so you might be able to use people to pull yourself out, because depression, it is not like, not everybody is able to pull themselves out of a depressive pit. That's why a lot of people commit suicide and things like that. So it's not always that you're going to be able to claw yourself out by your nails and your teeth and get yourself out. And since it's not like that, you have to take precautions, okay? Precautions, protect yourself. You shouldn't be watching that shit. Just like nobody should be out here watching Andrew Tate's videos. Nobody should be out here watching Samuel what's-the-name videos, because there's plenty of people that are not like that, that are whole divine masculines, that have whole relationships, whole careers, and maybe they might not have a lot of stuff. Maybe they might even be single and like, I could do, they on that Medea, I could do bad all by myself, because it ain't no way I'm putting up with this shit. That they a lot of them are like that, because I know, okay, single, because it ain't no way I'm putting that, not even a little bit of the bullshit. And so I'm not gonna watch that shit, because there's no way I'm gonna be sitting there like, you're not telling me about me. You're not telling me about me, because you claim like you're talking about me. And a high value woman and this. I'm like, please, just leave that alone. You wouldn't know a high value woman if her ass fell from the sky, fell on top of you, fell all up on your pee-pee. Okay? You wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know, because you ain't never seen it. Especially if you're thinking that just because you got a Bugatti and you got all this shit, that somehow you're high value. Because there's been homeless crackheads more high value than your ass right now. And the proof is in the pudding, because look at where his ass is at now. Look at where their asses are at now. But I digress, clearly. So yeah, I wanted to share that, because I'm just like, I need to be talking about this to people, because it must be people out. I need to, be a little bit more explanatory about my approach with this YouTube situation, because I don't think these people know. I don't think they know. Hopefully, these dogs. Somebody is lurking past my door, and look at this. They're not having it. My kitchen is a mess. Don't judge me, because I just woke up. It's the holidays, and I'm not doing anything. I'm on my self-care a couple days, so that's where I'm at. Can y'all stop barking? Please, I'm making a video. They listen. It's, if you're in the van life or whatever life, I'll be definitely having 2 big old dogs like that, at least one. But I know it's hard because it's like the space issue and everything. But man, look, you better make a little bit of space just for them to sit there, because they can always run outside. I mean, I guess that would be more likely if you're not like in a 2A state, but or if you're passing through non-2A states, which every state should be a 2A state, because like what the heck. But anyway, don't get me started on that. Anyway, I felt like I would share, and hope you like it. I hope it resonates, and you can make something of it, even if you're in my predicament where you're just like, the energy that I have is to maintain my dwelling, take care of my animals, take care of myself. And when I post, it's like I said, you are basically lucky that you're getting the little bit of videos that you're getting, that I'm sharing that, because honestly, I do not have the energy half the time. Matter of fact, like 90% of the time, I don't have the energy after I make that video to do anything but continue on with my daily chores and put that shit in the YouTube list, the upload queue. That literally, what I need to do is make some editor friends that are like, hey, let's be charitable. That's what I need to do. But I mean, if they, like I said, I don't think that it matters at the end of the day if you have good communication skills and people know where you're coming from. But I like to kind of like see, because I want to be able to like see my fish, because my fish are cool colors, and I like to be able to see it. But I do also know that the plant lights that I have, they help my plants grow faster. And I'll be taking care of the rainforest. I got my little rainforest going on over here, so my plants come first. The Rainforest Alliance is in full effect over here, and we just got to work with what we have and make the best out of it. So hopefully you appreciated that. Oh, whoa, got the video done for 30 minutes. Woo. And you know what? That's good. But like, subscribe, and share if you resonated, and if you maybe are going through this yourself, feeling a little downtrodden, and maybe I helped you be able to explain to the people, the little collectives or groups that you want to attract to your page, where you're coming from in your journey, in your life journey, because we all are at different places. So if I'm able to help you see in a different way and kind of approach your situation in a way that maybe you didn't think before, let me know in the comments, y'all. Let me know in the comments, because I thought it would be helpful. Anyway, enjoy your New Year's. Happy New Year's. It's already past that, but I'm living on my time, the universal time. And yeah, so hopefully you have a wonderful year ahead of you, and it passes at the pace that you would appreciate. I will talk to you guys. I'm thinking about maybe uploading another video about the fish, but I have some other chores I need to do before I deal with these fish again, because I already dealt with them. I'm gonna check on the infusoria, these little wormy things that baby fish eat that I had to make, and I don't even want to deal with them, but it's better than dealing with brine shrimp. But yeah, so anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you made it through the end of this video, bless you. Okay, bless you. You deserve it.